Well, everyone paid for the pay-per-view last night is probably kicking themselves at this moment, given the fact that we got a much better Raw on free television than we got last night from Hell in the Cell, which was a pay-per-view. So, unlike last night, I'm a lot more jovial about talking about WWE than I was before, so I thought I'd shoot this review out to you guys, and I'm not going to sleep on it to let it settle what I thought of the program. Oh no, I know exactly what I thought of this program, and it was a lot better than the pay-per-view last night. Oh, by the way, before we get started, the Crystal Light drinking game has returned. Frozen fruit punch, gotta love it. So, home sweet home tonight for Raw at the Amway Center. And a lot of my friends were in attendance tonight. I know my friend Scarlett was in attendance tonight, and there were a lot of people that were tweeting live at Raw. So I know that a lot of my friends were in attendance. I didn't get a chance to see anybody on the broadcast, but I'm sure they were had good seats in some way. Maybe not ringside, maybe not lower bowl or anything like that, but who knows? I guess I'll have to talk to them as we progress. So, before we get started with Raw, as we do here on Pop, we do a little housekeeping, and I want to throw out something that I got an email from Becky Menken about 5 minutes ago, and it was the email to tell me all about the special hard ticket event, or in this case, events, two hard ticket events at Reunion 2013 this year. One being back to Illuminations at Epcot, and we're going to have another dessert party just like we did last time. I was not at the live podcast. I was live recapping Hell in a Cell last night, so I did not get to hear the actual details. But I do know that we're going to be doing a viewing of Illuminations with the awesome holiday tag at the end, which means you guys will get a brand new version of such that is going to go on the channel. I'll make sure that I put that up there along with holiday wishes from the Mickey's Very Merry Christmas Party, and I might see if I can do the Very Merry Christmas Parade. I'll see if I can. Parades are harder to shoot because I never know when they're actually coming, and sometimes there's a lull in everything, and it makes it a lot harder to predict everything, but we'll see how that works out. I may go to the Christmas party more than once this year. I haven't decided yet. So that is on December 7th. And the final day is going to be a breakfast at the ESPN Club on the boardwalk with the gang. And there's going to be a special podcast recording. So I get to attend another live podcast just like we did at Meal of Fortune last year. Both of these hard ticket events are available for $40 for people that booked in through MEI and Mouse Fan Travel to the reunion package. And like the email says, if anything is available still, those standby tickets will go on sale on Wednesday morning. But to the lucky, fortunate ones that booked in through the reunion travel package, they will get to buy their tickets tomorrow at midnight. Midnight, wow. I looked at my clock. Tomorrow at noon. So, because of that fact, I'm going to be on the computer, like I wouldn't have been anyway, and I'm going to be purchasing both tickets. So, I'm really excited about Reunion this year. It's going to be really awesome. So, do you want to talk about that? Another thing. WWE 2K14 comes out tomorrow. And I'm not getting it yet. Money's still a little tight. I will be purchasing it in the next couple of months. I might wait until Black Friday, because apparently it's going to be cheaper on Black Friday. I think it's going to be like $40 on Black Friday, so I'll probably just get it then. I am having WWE 12. It's going to be shipped to my house via eBay in a couple of days, actually. It'll be here before the end of the week. And I am aggressively trying to pick up Legends of WrestleMania and WWE 13. Yes, Sir Owen Disney now has access to a PlayStation 3. So needless to say, I'm going to totally enjoy myself and finally get to play a video game console again, which I haven't in the previous time, obviously, because I just didn't have one, but now I've got access to one, so boom, I'm going to be playing the WWE games on the PlayStation 3, and that's going to be really awesome. So I'm looking forward to that. So, there's always that, and I'm looking forward to trying the online gaming functions on WWE 2K14 when I finally get the game. And I'm kind of waiting a bit. Obviously, I want to get the DLC for it, because I want to be able to play as Fandango and Summer Rae. So there are DLC, and there's a lot of awesome DLC that I'd really like to talk about in the near future. And you never know, I might end up doing a video game review now that I'm starting to play games again. So who knows? We'll see what happens. Quick programming note. We have, this week is pretty much packed. So today is officially Tuesday, and Tuesday will be your Raw recap, which I'm filming right now. And Tuesday night is going to be returning to Athens. We're going to go to the Grand to watch Enough Said, and then we're going to go over to Athena Cinema, and we're going to be watching Romeo and Juliet. And then I'm going to come back here and relax. Now, Wednesday morning I actually have to work, and after I get done at work at 5 o'clock, AJ and I are going to B-Dubs, and play a little NTN trivia, come back about 9 o'clock, everything's all wonderful. So, Thursday, I'm going to get off work at 5. I work 10 to 5, and I got to build the movies. You know how we do here. And once I accomplish that, I get off at 5 o'clock. We're going to go to B-Dubs for a little bit, and then we're actually watching Ender's Game at 8 o'clock on Thursday night. And as of this moment, and let me see if it's changed. It may have, because obviously I haven't looked in a bit, so it may have changed. But as of this very moment, it is the only movie that's going to be doing a preview on Thursday night. So let me check to make sure, so I'm not imagining things. Obviously, we don't get our bookings till tomorrow, but as of this moment, yeah, it's just 8 o'clock, so maybe something else added to that. If not, I'm going to be watching Impact when I get back, and then I will recap Impact, hopefully get that video out to you guys on Friday morning. Friday morning will be, looks like Freebirds and Las Vegas, which will be accomplished on Friday, and I'd love to say that 12 Years a Slave is part of that, but I don't know yet. I'm doubting it, but who knows? It's possible. The Fifth Estate has given me a lot more hope than I've had previously, so who knows? And I know we're going to be going to Athens in the very near future for Blue is the Warmest Color, so we'll be checking that out soon. So all these recaps coming to you. AJ's movie reviews on Friday. He watched a lot of stuff, so we're going to talk about that. And of course, got our scary-themed verses continues into November, and your cryptic comment for this week is Anthology. So yeah, there's always that. And NXT and SmackDown recap later in the weekend as well. So, that being said, we have our housekeeping out of the way, so let's talk Monday Night Raw. Like I said, live tonight from Home Sweet Home, Orlando, Florida, the Amway Center, and this show was great, to say the least. Started off kind of wishy-washy, though. We'll talk about that as we progress, and we'll progress as of right now, because that's where we're going. Alright. Immediately, on Twitter, and on Facebook, mind you, I see that WWE Raw tonight is going to start off with a John Cena celebration, and it's going to end with a Randy Orton celebration. And I'm like, great, I'm going to get carpal tunnel writing all these Windbags promos. No, there was actually a point to both of them. The first, a lot more than the second, but we'll get to that. So John Cena comes out to a crowd of cheering children, cheering women, and the rest of the crowd is booing him out of the building. As a matter of fact, they're probably 75% against Cena at this point. He thanks JBL, and JBL pretty much looks at him like, why are you thanking me? He's like, well, you gave me the motivation to come back. All the things you put me down saying, I'm stupid for coming back, and he holds the World Heavyweight Championship in front of JBL, and pretty much like, haha, I got Tyler now. He's like, I'm back on Raw, and now I'm also the Friday Night Delight, John Morrison on line 1, on SmackDown as well. He says he's ready to go, and tonight we're also going to celebrate Randy Orton, so I know he's going to talk a lot, so I'm sure you guys want me to shut up, so that's what I'm going to do. But I promise you, I'm back. Alberto Del Rio, you did your best. You took me to my limit. But you want a rematch, you want some, come get some. Damien Sandow comes out. He says, "The uncrowned champ is here," gets the first line of the night. "You're not fooling me. You may have got the WWE Universe fooled, you may even have the medical staff fooled, but you don't have me fooled one iota. I know you're more hurt than you're letting on. You're afraid I'm going to cash in tonight on you. I can cash in anytime, anywhere, like right now." He goes to cash in, he's like, "On second thought, then again, maybe any night but tonight." So he kicks Cena in the knee, nails him with the case, again and again and again, and this is all to the injured arm, by the way, so he's really working it over. So he drags him into the ring post, and he slams his arm into the ring post 2 times. He yells, "Rise above this," and he tosses the arm hard into the barricade. And then he tosses the arm into the steel steps. He separates the steps, gets a steel chair, places the arm on top of the second part of the stairs, and lands the chair into the elbow. Insane. He just destroys Cena's arm. He says, "My time is now," calls out a referee, and he's officially cashing in. So we're starting off the program with Damien Sandow cashing in the Money in the Bank briefcase. So we come back from commercial, and this is official now. I'll need a lot for this, that's the reason I'm drinking, as any of you that are regular viewers know. So, Cena, the sidekick to Sandow, he's basically fighting with one arm right now. Sandow plants him with a flying armbar, makes a cover 1-2, and Cena kicks out. So he tosses him shoulder first into the ring post, like the bad arm, obviously working on it the whole time. Rolls him up from behind 1-2, and Cena kicks out. So he works over the arm, drops a leaping leg drop onto the arm, makes a cover 1-2, and a kick out. Locks on a modified key lock, and Cena creates separation with a belly-to-belly suplex. Sandow with an arm drag, ties up the arm in the top rope, wrenching it up on it. Step suplex 1-2, and a kick out. Cena again kicks out. So, top wrist lock is applied, and a knee lift. Whip in and kick to the head. Whip in, back body drop. Sandow hits the canvas hard. We go back to live action. We get back to commercial break. They trade blows. He ducks the right hand, and Cena hits the shoulder block off the ropes. Of course, his arm is hurt, so he can't capitalize. Whip in reverse, big boot by Cena. And then there's the proto bomb, and looks like he's setting up for the 5-knuckle shuffle, but it ends up getting countered into that side somersault neck breaker. Sandow plants him 1-2, and Cena again kicks out. So a high velocity whip, sending him literally elbow first into the turnbuckles. And then he does it again on the opposite corner. So he goes for a short arm, gets countered, AA on Sandow, and Sandow uses the momentum to roll to the floor, so Cena cannot, again, capitalize. So Cena waves off Doc Samson, who's trying to say, "I can stop this," and Cena's like, "No, I'm not going to let you stop this." Cena basically gradually guides Sandow into the ring. I wrote on the notes here, it says Cena tosses Sandow in the ring, but it was not even close to that. He kind of guided him into the ring. He goes for I guess you would say it would be an STF with one arm, which is like totally just negating the effectiveness of the maneuver. So Sandow plants him with the Terminus and hooks the leg 1-2, and again Cena kicks out at 2.5. He goes for "You're welcome." It gets countered into a nice spot from Cena, a belly to back suplex or a backdrop suplex, turned around in a reverse neck breaker. When he was falling down, makes a cover on Sandow 1-2 and a kick out. Sandow locks in the crossface. So Cena bridges back, and he tries to counter, and he grabs the leg. Sandow kicks him off. So he goes for the AA, gets countered into the "You're welcome," plants Cena, hooks the leg 1-2, and no. Again, Super Cena kicks out. So he puts him on the turnbuckle, and he climbs up. He goes for a superplex. Cena punches his way out. 2 headbutts, knocks Sandow off the top rope. He goes for the flying body press. Sandow ducks out of the way. Sandow tries to finish him off with a pile driver. It gets countered into the AA. Cena hooks the leg, 1-2-3, and John Cena retains the World Heavyweight Championship in a tremendous opening contest against Damien Sandow. Okay, let's talk about a couple of things. Number one, Was it right for Sandow to cash in tonight and lose? No, not really. If you were serious about making him a babyface, you wouldn't have done this. So Sandow's babyface turn, I'm pretty sure has been scrapped, 100%. So he showed a really awesome vicious streak, and I want to see a lot more matches between Sandow and Cena in the near future. I think it's a really good idea. I think you build Sandow up to be Cena's next challenger. Even though Del Rio's got the rematch, it doesn't really matter. I still think that you can build Damien Sandow to challenge Cena for the World Heavyweight Championship. And I'm going to stick with what everyone is saying, and I believe it too. John Cena will not be World Heavyweight Champion by the end of 2013. And once again, you're saying, Owen, we only have a couple days left in October, then we go into November, and then we're through November, and we're into the last month of the year. And I'm like, there's time, don't worry, it's a slow build. I wasn't really on board with Cena winning the title last night. I'm still not completely on board, but the match with Sandow was just excellent and really elevated Sandow to be the superstar that I truly know he can be and he definitely will be. So, Sandow being the second man to cash in Money in the Bank unsuccessfully, and the only other one is John Cena, ironically enough. So, it's not a big deal. I mean, I guess you could say he's got his place now, and Sandow, of course, has a mean streak. This mean streak could still be used to make John Cena's life miserable. I think that's actually a good idea, and I think that's what you could do. You have both Del Rio with his rematch, and you've got Sandow on the outside. So John Cena's livelihood as World Heavyweight Champion is going to be in dire straits sooner rather than later, because every heel in the company thinks they've got the kryptonite to take down Super Cena. Yeah, I came up with that. Obviously, everyone else calls him Super Cena, and it was funny because Jerry Lawler on commentary tonight all night was calling him Superman. I thought that was hilarious. So, next match is kind of a faux pas in my case, and I'm sorry about this. Big E Langston getting a shot at Dean Ambrose's United States Championship in a rematch from last night. I didn't get to write much on this because it ended rather abruptly. So, belly to belly on Ambrose, and Roman Reigns pulls the rope, sending Langston over the top to the floor. Referee spots it, calls for the immediate DQ. So they pound away. Jimmy and Jey Uso hit the ring, and you don't need the amazing Kreskin to tell you right now that we've got ourselves a 6-man tag team match, and it's going to be next. And sure enough, Brad Maddox trots his way out and says, you know what, slow your roll, playa. No, that's Teddy Long, not Brad Maddox. But still, it's the only thing that was missing from this. He basically says, you know what, I got an idea. How about we do a 6-man tag? And I'm like, gee, thanks for being so descriptive there, Captain Obvious. So we get our next match, which is the Usos and Big E Langston taking on the Shield in a 6-man. Pretty good. Good match as usual. So Ambrose ties Jimmy up in the ropes and hits the shots, comes off the ropes, front drop kick, 1-2, and a kick out. Locks the modified sleeper on Jimmy Uso. Uso with a jawbreaker out. Boot in, caught, spun around, enziguri kick from Jimmy Uso. Tagging to Roman Reigns. He goes for the Superman clothesline, gets caught into a very awkward DDT on Roman Reigns. Reigns tags out to Seth Rollins, and Jey Uso comes in and smartly knocks him off the ring apron. Double chop, side kick to the ribs, ducks the clothesline. Seth caught with a big spine buster from Jey Uso, and the running butt bump in the corner makes the cover, and Dean Ambrose makes the save. Big E Langston with a cactus clothesline sends him over the top rope to the floor. Rollins puts Jey on the top rope, climbs up for the superplex, gets blocked, front superplex off the top, and goes for the Samoan splash. Just like before, Rollins gets the knees up, tagging to Roman Reigns, double suplex, gets countered, double super kick on Seth Rollins, and the Usos walk into Roman Reigns, who bulldozes both of them with a ginormous spear to both of the Usos, makes the cover and gets the win. So, win for the Shield, very well needed tonight. And even though that Rollins and Reigns are no longer tag team champions, they're still showing their dominance. And that's interesting because you had a seed planted tonight. There's a lot of seeds that have been planted the last couple of days. I'll talk about as we progress in this video. But there was a seed planted tonight with Dean Ambrose saying that he's the only man in the Shield who has a title. And he basically says that he's going to retain the championship, and you can believe that. And he looks over, and Roman Reigns is still staring at the camera, believing the Shield. We're not talking about the Shield. Ambrose is putting himself over. So, interesting to see that seed was dropped tonight. That the Shield could, their days as a cohesive unit could be rather numbered. So, Shawn Michaels said on Twitter that he's going to come to Raw and he's going to give the fans an explanation of his actions, his heinous actions from last night's Hell in a Cell pay-per-view. So Michaels comes out to crickets. Yes, given what happened at Hell in a Cell, Shawn Michaels, not just some random J-Bron, Shawn Michaels, the Heartbreak Kid, Mr. WrestleMania, Hall of Famer, Shawn Michaels, comes out to no reaction. You could hear a pin drop. As a matter of fact, I think I heard some dude in the 15th row drop their nachos. So, he says he wants to spill his guts to everyone, but he wants to do it face to face. So he calls Daniel Bryan out to the ring. Bryan comes out rather cautiously. And he says, "You have to understand, I didn't intend for that to happen. You see, when I saw you hit Triple H last night, I just want to let you know he's my best friend, and nothing will ever change that. Friendship supersedes everything. He was there when I was down and out, when no one else was there, when everyone turned their back on me. I needed him, and he needed me last night. So there I was. I don't ask you to understand why I did what I did. I'm just asking for you to accept my apology and to shake my hand." Bryan shakes his head no. "Last night I took you to school, and I taught you the final lesson. In this snake pit, you don't trust anyone. I'm simply humbling myself by apologizing, so show me the respect I've earned and shake my hand." Bryan says no again. Shawn starts to get a little agitated and says, "Let me tell you something, you self-righteous little puke. 7 months I've been defending you. And you know what? I'm not sure if you're A or B at this point. I don't really even care. I've always been an A-plus player, and I always will be. I'm Shawn Michaels. I'm Mr. WrestleMania. I'm the Heartbreak Kid. You shake my hand right now." Bryan obliges him, shakes his hand, pulls Shawn Michaels into the yes lock. So he's got the yes lock on Shawn Michaels right in the center of the ring, and he taps, and he's tapping, and he's tapping, he's tapping. The referees come out and separate it, and basically that's the end of that. After what happened in Hell in a Cell last night, it completely killed the crowd. This was retribution that Bryan really needed to get. I'm not sure exactly where this leads, but I'm guessing that there's a reason why things were done after this segment. That were done after this segment. But we'll talk about that now, actually. We see the very familiar opening of the Wyatt family introduction when Bryan is talking to Renee Young. And the next thing you know, the Wyatts attack. So Rowan and Harper just mug Daniel Bryan. They whip him into a ladder, and Bray Wyatt just standing back, just watching all of this. So Bray grabs Bryan, says the devil made me do it, kiss of death, Sister Abigail onto the fence in the back. He grabs a wheeled trunk and he rams it into the side of the head of Bryan. And that's all she wrote. Bryan, of course, sent off to the hospital. Okay. So, for those of you out there that have not been paying attention in these videos, I have been saying, since I saw them for the first time at NXT, the Wyatt family just needed to attack the right person to end with the program that's going to make them into superstars. This is the right thing to do. Bray Wyatt says the devil made me do it. Who's the devil? Is the devil Vince McMahon? I highly doubt it. Vince will be a babyface in this. Is the devil Kane? Devil's favorite demon? Yes. But the Wyatt family were the ones doing the brainwashing of Kane, and now Kane is... Well, we'll talk about Kane in a couple segments. Is it AJ? That's kind of thinking outside of the box, pun not intended, but I mean, really? No. Paul Heyman? He's kind of down and out right now, so I'm not sure. Are the Wyatts in bed with what's best for business? Signs point to most likely. But aren't they flanked by the Shield? Isn't that a conflict of interest? We'll see how this progresses in the coming weeks. I'm not going to make any commentary on what I think is going to be as of this moment. I'm just going to wait this one out. So speaking of things I don't want to comment on, my least favorite WWE tag team, Los Matadores, make their way to the ring and they're facing off against Scarlett's favorite 6-man tandem of 3-man band. So, that's a joke, Scarlett. You know exactly what I'm talking about. Heath Slater comes out brandishing a fishing net. Basically, he's trying to catch himself a bull. Yeah. So, as we progress in this match, 3-man band hit a awesome triple slingshot suplex. McIntyre makes the cover and a kick out. So, leaping stomp, tagging in Heath Slater with a knee drop and a leaping knee drop, which misses. Tag in, springboard missile drop kick on Drew McIntyre, and then the twisting headbutt off the ropes on 2 separate occasions. Big boot by McIntyre, ducks the clothesline, big boot by McIntyre. And at this point, Heath Slater chases El Torito under the ring. He comes out with a fire extinguisher and he blasts Heath Slater in the face. This pretty much allows him to get gored in the butt like happened to Zeb Coulter at the pay-per-view. Tag in and the tandem torture rack Samoan drop, and that's the 3 count. They toss Heath back in and he gets trapped in the net and they break the pole off and basically, Torito jumps up on the top rope, springs to the other rope, and hits a gore onto Heath Slater. Once again, the crowd's completely dead for this, and Heath Slater is, he's coming down so far. Back in the Nexus days, he's the man who pinned Edge, he's the man that pinned Chris Jericho, and now what has he become? So, and Drew McIntyre, he was the chosen one. Jinder Mahal, not so much. But, I've seen good things from him. He just hasn't really shown anything in WWE yet. But, 3-man band just falling so far every single week. They're just the go-to heel team to job every single week. And El Torito is more over than Diego and Fernando ever will be. So, yeah. That was a match. That's all it was. Speaking of tag matches, we had ourselves a Divas tag team match. AJ Lee and Tamina Snuka taking on the Bella Twins. So, Brie, of course, is working this match, having just seen Bray Wyatt dismantle her fiancé. So, obviously, her head's not really in this match. Well, this is very evident by the fact that she seems kind of off in the match, and makes sense. And kudos to Brie for her sell job of this, to be totally honest, but I understand why. I'm gonna need it, trust me. So Brie with a dropkick on AJ. AJ tags Tamina, charges in, elbow up, and she gets on the middle turnbuckle, and she basically gets pulled off. 1 count for Tamina. Chinlock on Brie. Brie elbows her way out. 2 big headbutts and the leaping coconut butt. So, shades of Superfly, obviously. Makes a cover, 1-2, and a kick out. So, a rear chinlock and elbow out again. Enziguri kick, tagging to Nikki. Clothesline, back elbow, big drop kick. Goes for a monkey flip. Gets hot shotted on the top rope. Brie gets knocked off the ring apron inadvertently. So charges, boot up, and goes for a middle rope flying body press. And she gets caught, and she swings the feet of Nikki into Brie. And a Samoan drop on Nikki, tagging AJ, locks in the Black Widow, and Nikki taps out. So once again, we are planting more seeds. That if everything that we can continue to hear is true, Nikki and Brie are splitting up sooner rather than later. I'm not sure how this is going to go. I'm not sure how this is going to work, honestly. But Nikki blames herself for the loss that Brie had to AJ at Hell in a Cell. So we continue and build this and build this and build this. So speaking of people that returned last night, Kane is in action against The Miz up next. So this is an interesting segment. This is a really interesting segment. We're going to talk about this now. So the match, just pretty much just a squash match on The Miz. So whip in, big boot on The Miz, and a choke thrust from Kane. Whip in, Miz kicks him in the face, nails the Yakuza kick, and misses the charge, does Kane. Miz lying in the corner, goes up top for the crown, gets goozled, choke slam, done the party. Kane gets on the mic. Stephanie, come out now. I have something to say to you. So Stephanie comes out, stands at the top of the ramp, says, you know what, I'm just going to stand right here, if that's okay. And he's like, fine. You've been on a power trip lately. You've ruined lives. But you know, in this day and age, it's what's best for business. Therefore, the monster is yours to unleash. He gets out of the ring, walks up the ramp to Stephanie, takes off his mask, and of course the subsequent hair that's attached to said mask, gives it to Stephanie, and walks away. She smirks, raises it high in the air. So, Kane turned heel again. Great, wonderful, but he took the mask off. And also revealed that he was wearing a wig the entire time. I'm sure that freaked out a lot of people that are not WWE fans from the internet. People that don't know that Glenn Jacobs has a very short haircut and does not have the long, flowing, curly black locks that he did back in the Kane days before he shaved his head. Oh no, his hair is still not grown back fully. It's kind of somewhat there, as you saw when he walked out, but that was the only thing you got was a behind shot. Interesting that Kane is now joined What's Best for Business. Kane to be the monster, the enforcer of What's Best for Business. I kind of like this, actually. I like how this is going, and I like how this can progress. It's interesting to see what happens. This is more like Attitude Era stuff, so, interesting. David Otunga makes an appearance on Raw. We haven't seen him in a minute or two. That's sarcasm, folks. He's going over the litigation that is going on, the proceedings involving the Big Show's lawsuit against Triple H and WWE. He's basically the counsel of the Big Show, which is interesting, to say the least. He says the lawsuit will cost millions and could possibly create a new ownership for the company. Interesting. Very interesting. I wonder who the new owner is. Let's just say there's no chance in hell that What's Best for Business will be owners of WWE much longer. If you're picking up what I'm putting down, and I'm sure you are. So CM Punk comes out. He says, Paul Heyman is history. Now my focus will shift to Ryback. He says, you stand zero chance against the best in the world. Tonight you have 3 options made by the WWE Universe, through the app, obviously. I put you through a table, I put you to sleep, or I tap you out. Either way, I ended Heyman, and tonight I promise to end you. WWE Universe have 3 options. Street fight, Falls Count Anywhere, and a tables match. Tables match, well, considering the finish last night involved a table, kind of a no-brainer. Street fight, Falls Count Anywhere, kind of the same thing, except a street fight cannot end in a pinfall outside of the ring, but still is anything goes. Fans choose the street fight, so that's what we get. And I go midway through this match, and Ryback goes for a meat hook, and Punk ducks. Caught Ryback with a spinning neck breaker. Of course, this is the rematch from Hell in a Cell last night. 1-2 and a kick out. So Punk sets up the table and he goes for his high kick. It gets caught. Ryback hits a short turnbuckle powerbomb on a Punk, puts him on the buckle, climbs up. Punk punches him off, 3 double chops, and he leaps off the middle rope, gets caught over the shoulder. He slides down Ryback's back, lands on his feet, nails the high kick. He goes up top as he lands on the table, very coincidentally. And he hits the Savage Elbow through the table, locks on the Anaconda Vice, and Ryback just taps out right quick. Again, we get the opening of the Wyatt family's promo. And this time we actually get the real opening, the long version of the opening of the Wyatt's intro. So Bray comes down with the lantern with Rowan and Harper behind him. He sits down in his chair, his rocking chair in the rampway, which just always seems to be there. So Rowan and Harper at the ring. Punk has a Singapore cane, and he goes after Rowan and nails him. And then the Wyatts just mug CM Punk. The Gator rolling face lock by Luke Harper, and then they whip Rowan into the Avalanche into the corner, and of course they throw him off into the big boot on Punk. Wyatt gets in the ring, looks up at Punk, picks him up while he's bleeding from the forehead, and says, "I've been waiting a long time to do this." Yeah, ever since the new Nexus. Right there, Bray. Makes total sense. If you really know about storyline continuity, it makes sense why Bray Wyatt would want to dismantle CM Punk. So, Punk headbutts him in the nose, and Harper lays him to waste with a discus lariat. So they pick him up, kiss of death on Punk, Sister Abigail, and once again, Bray Wyatt utters the words, "The devil made me do it." Devil doesn't like Ring of Honor, apparently. So, yeah, there's always that. So the Wyatts have laid out Daniel Bryan and CM Punk. Very interesting. Very interesting to see. I think if Dolph Ziggler had been on the show, he would have been laid out as well. So, interesting to see where we go with this. Another thing that's really interesting. We actually get ourselves a non-title match between the Rhodes Warriors, your WWE Tag Team Champions Cody Rhodes and Goldust, taking on Zeb's Militia, the Real Americans, Antonio Cesaro and Jack Swagger. So, this match was actually pretty good too. So, Cody nails a Shining Wizard on Cesaro, gets a 1 count only. Cody gets locked in the Idol Vice momentarily, but elbows his way out, and a front suplex on Cesaro, tagging a Goldust. Goldust hits the Dustin Rhodes Bulldog off the ropes. Cesaro kicks out at 2. Cesaro tags in Swagger and hot tag into Cody, nails a springboard missile drop kick, clotheslines over the top to the floor on Swagger. We get back to live action. There's a clothesline on Cody from Swagger and a belly-to-belly suplex. Tags Cesaro. He nails the deadlift side salto on Cody. Tag back into Swagger. Swagger with a front face lock picks him up and drives him hard into the corner. Swagger bomb to the back, not the midsection of Cody Rhodes. Tags Cesaro. Cesaro, of course, leapfrogs over his partner, nails a double boot stomp. Makes a cover 1-2 and a kick out. Locks the Idol Vice on Cody one more time. Cody flips him off and throws him up in the air. Nails Cody Rhodes with Swiss Death. And Goldust makes a save before the 3 count can be administered. So 2 overhand rights. Cody gets caught with the European uppercut. Comes off the ropes. Cody with a high knee lift. And that sends Cesaro to the floor. So we come back in, tagging a Swagger. Tagging to Goldust. Goldust comes in, clothesline, and a big right hand. Whip in, reverse, drop down, uppercut, inverted atomic drop, kicks him in the side of the head, and he goes to the corner, Swagger nail with a 10 punch. Whip in, reverse, charges in, Goldust catches him with a power slam off the ropes. Beautiful disaster on Cesaro when he tries to interfere, and that pretty much takes him out momentarily. Goldust climbs up, nails the 180 into the fine body press, 1-2, and countered into the Patriot lock. Flip forward into the turnbuckle goes Jack Swagger, and of course Cesaro makes the save. Low bridge sends Cody over the top rope to the floor, and Cesaro neck snap to Goldust, clips the knee, Patriot lock, and there's the submission. So the Real Americans win a non-title match over the WWE Tag Team Champions. So yeah, really awesome match there, and really happy to see a lot of things. No giant swing in this match, so there's always that Swiss death that happened. So I'm still waiting for the UFO. I think it's going to happen eventually. Alpamare water slide was actually used before, so on Sheamus of all people. So, I call it Alpamare. Alpamare water slide, I guess, is actually the pronunciation. Sorry. So, there's always that. And the fact that they won a non-title match means they are now in contention for the WWE Tag Team Championships. And that, my friends, is a good thing. So, get a short title reign for Swagger and Cesaro before they end up having to split up and Cesaro goes babyface and Swagger and Zeb stay together. The Colossal Connection, Andre Haku storyline that I talked about every single week here on PUP. So, there's always that. Alberto Del Rio comes out. He basically says he's going to make John Cena pay. He says he's going to break John Cena's arm, and the World Heavyweight Championship belongs to him. So, short promo for ADR, and it was alright for what it was. Still building the fact that he's obviously getting a rematch somewhere quickly down the road. I would say either Survivor Series or... if they go with, unless they do traditional Survivor Series matches, and I really want that to happen, I say Del Rio and Cena rematch at Survivor Series. Or maybe Del Rio, Cena, and Sandow three-way at Survivor Series. I think that's a better idea. And I think that actually would be what's best for business. So, we get our main event of the evening. And yes, I said main event of the evening because the main event, the last thing you see on the show is a promo. So, yeah, this is the main wrestling match of the evening. It is the in-ring singles debut of the gorgeous Summer Rae, with Fandango, of course, taking on Natalya with the Oddities 2K13 in their corner. So, like I said, for those of you that have never seen Summer Rae outside of WWE, you don't know this, but Summer Rae can actually go. And I would suggest checking out her matches with Paige, her series with Paige over the summer, and you can see that Summer Rae can definitely go. After you do that, then come back and you have a nice little education in Summer Rae. So there you go. So Natty hits a shoulder block, comes off the ropes, waistlock, double leg, jackknife cover from Summer Rae, 1 count only. Natty turns a backslide in, Summer 1-2 and a kick out. So backslide and Summer backs her into the corner, chest first. And this was very strange. She grabs the top rope like it's a ballet bar, and she does a demi-plie before she covers, and of course Natty kicks out at 1. Pushes her into the corner, and a foot choke by Summer Rae, and locks on a stump puller, which we haven't seen since the WWF days of Doink the Clown. And bridges back 1-2 and a kick out, cover 1-2 and a kick out, so she splashes the knee after browbeating Natty momentarily, locks on a spinning toe hold, and this allows her to lock in an inverted Indian deathlock, and Natty breaks out of it. So she gets back into the corner, 2 knee lifts in the corner by Natty, catches Summer 1-2 and a kick out, chin lock, cover 1-2 and a kick out. So chin lock, Natty elbows her way out, comes off the rope, Summer with a drop kick, 1-2 and a kick out. Fandango gets on the ring apron, kisses the sides of Summer Rae's chin. I was saying chest and chin at the same time. Whoops. So, cheek is the word I'm looking for. Chest, chin, cheek. Yeah, tomato, tomato. Just let's call the whole thing off. So, this allows for a distraction, and Hornswoggle pulls Fandango off the apron and gets tossed. And that's awesome until Khali interjects himself and brain chops Fandango. This distracts Summer Rae just long enough for Natty to double leg her, lock on the sharpshooter, and she gives it up. Good match. Good match for what it was. Summer Rae and Natty are going to have a nice little feud. I don't have a problem with this. I've been talking about the fact that Summer Rae should be doing matches on WWE programming for a long time now, so they're just finally starting to listen to me. So there's always that. And unfortunately, we continue the feud with Hornswoggle, Khali, and Fandango, which I hope will lead to somebody else joining with this group, just so Fandango can actually work with someone that can actually wrestle. No offense to Khali, but his days are of an in-ring competitor should be over, and should have been over, but he still works, so yeah. Final segment, Randy Orton's championship celebration. Yay. If I had something to change the channel to, I would. But I recap this stuff for you guys, and in the hopes that something actually is going to come out of this, I continue to watch. So, what's best for business hit the ring? I'm without Kane, obviously, because Kane isn't officially in the group yet. But even though he is in the group, but he's not out there. So, a decade ago, Vince McMahon came. He doesn't mention Vince by name, obviously. He says the chairman of the company, and he doesn't mention Vince. Kind of like how Dixie didn't mention Hogan by name. Just called him our former general manager. Gee, I wonder who we're talking about. So, they asked me who's going to be the face of the WWE, and I chose Randy Orton. I watched him become a star, and I watched as that A-plus player became the face of the WWE. He fulfilled my prophecy when he became WWE Champion in Hell in a Cell. So Randy Orton comes out. Yay. And right away, he becomes the robotic promo he always is. Having this title, and he does pause in the middle like it's a two-syllable word. Makes me better than all of you. He says he's a success. He says he's your superior, and the Big Show's music hits. So, the Big Show has a restraining order on him. Put on from What's Best for Business, obviously. Which means he came out, somehow no one stopped him, 7-foot guy came through the entranceway, not through the crowd, to his theme music, mind you, and still cleaned house. So, of course, the Shield jump him, and they pretty much get taken out by Goldust, Cody Rhodes, and the Usos. So, they end up chasing the Shield to the back, and every single member of the roster jumped the Shield and chased him to the back on the rampway. So, this means Big Show's got a clear path to Randy Orton and Triple H. So, what happens? They powder. And he says, you think I'm afraid to be fired? You think I'm afraid to be arrested? No, I've got friends that will pay my bail. My lawsuit will cost you millions. I don't care if I bankrupt you. I have nothing to lose. So, Big Show ends up getting hit with a belt shot from Randy Orton. And Orton goes for it again, and bam, knockout punch. Knocks out the WWE Champion. Triple H is held back by Stephanie so he doesn't get in the ring, and that's how we end the show. Okay. So, a lot better than the pay-per-view, to say the least. Interesting to see how we go with this. Obviously, and I've been talking about it for a while, we're building towards Big Show and Randy Orton feuding over the WWE Championship. I think that Big Show and Orton would probably be the match at Survivor Series, unless they go with the traditional Survivor Series match, Team Bryan versus Team Orton. I think that's probably what you do. So I would say that you take, I mean, you could do a 5-on-5 Survivor Series match and do the Shield, Randy Orton, and Kane against Bryan, and I guess it would be Bryan and Big Show and the Usos and The Miz. That would have to be the match, honestly. Dolph Ziggler should be in there too, but you can't really do that, I guess. So, yeah, that's what you probably would do at Survivor Series if you're going to push that. And I think you bring in Vince sooner rather than later, because Vince McMahon is obviously going to be the person that rights all these wrongs and becomes a babyface again. So, it's going to be interesting to see where we go with this. Where are the Wyatt family in all this? I love how they're all over the show tonight. It was an awesome, awesome segment. They lay out Bryan, they lay out CM Punk, and both times they said, the devil made me do it. Obviously, there's some devilish intentions in what's best for business, so obviously that's the first thing you jump to. But could it be someone else? Could it be something else? You never know. And I'm just going to enjoy the ride in the time being. So, interesting show tonight. A lot better than the pay-per-view, and it's sad I can say that a lot more often than not lately, so that's not a good thing. But I guess it's all about ratings and not about pay-per-view buys anymore. So, yeah, there's always that. So, Raw was good tonight and enjoyable. I wouldn't have had Sandow cash in and lose to Cena. I would have had Sandow cash in and beat Cena. And you build Sandow that way, but Sandow in losing tonight still looked like $1 million. Cena made him look amazing, and the match was excellent. So, I want to see these guys go again, and I definitely am an advocate for Cena, Sandow, and Del Rio three-way at Survivor Series, and I think that's what needs to happen. So, good show tonight. Enjoyable show. A lot of seeds planted and a lot of questions still to be answered. So I'm still on the edge of my seat, and that's good because I was kind of getting ready to jump off this seat last night. So in the meantime, Raw was good tonight, and I look forward to see what happens on SmackDown on Friday. So, wrestling fans, I will join you again for NXT and SmackDown later this weekend. And for you fans that care about TNA in any way possible, I'll have an Impact recap for you either Thursday night late or Friday morning early. So that's going to be something I pledge to you. You will have more wrestling recaps in the near future. In the meantime, if you like these videos, tell your friends about them, leave a comment, do subscribe, and help spread the word about Pop. If you want to do that, you're more than welcome to do in 3 simple ways you can get a hold of me. You can tweet me. It's at SirOwenDisney. I do accept follow requests. And if you want to request to friend me on Facebook, it's Owen Disney, or you can send me a good old-fashioned email, SirOwenDisney@gmail.com. So, hopefully you guys and girls out there like this videos, and you'll get a Halloween Horror Nights video actually for tomorrow, talking about the events of September 27th, and we're going to also talk about the 28th on, what day are we on? On Wednesday, and on Halloween we're going to talk about my final night Halloween Horror Nights, as well as I'm putting up the Rocky Horror Tribute show I shot that night, so that's going to be up on this channel, and like I said, verses are up all over. We're going to have scary themed verses the month of November, so there's 4 scary themed verses still to come. And then December we'll go back into just hodgepodge. January and February will be award themed verses, so that's the plan. AJ's movie review is going to be big. Ben and Will both be returning to the channel very soon, and Molly will be making her long-awaited debut with the channel very, very soon. So, thank you guys and girls out there for watching. And until tomorrow, boys and girls, that's all I gotta say about that.